Up to join us here in studio with me, and we have a lot to get to today, Governor. I want to start with a story that broke this afternoon. 6 local people are arrested in a sting operation of human trafficking involving the World Cup. They said that this was going to happen, but they made 6 arrests in a bus today. What is your reaction to that? This kind of thing is kind of happening, or allegedly happening.
Obviously, that behavior is disgusting, and we should do everything we can to hold people accountable. And we know that on the World Cup events, it's an opportunity to even key in even more. And our state police has done that, so I give them credit for doing the investigation. Now we need to make sure that we continue that work to hold people accountable for the behavior that is just disgusting.
All right, Governor, I want to talk to you about the Rhode Island Democratic Convention. Obviously, this is making headlines right now. You didn't score the endorsement. You got more votes than your challenger, Helena Foulkes, but you're the first sitting governor in recent history that hasn't gotten the nomination. Why?
Well, first of all, we did get more votes than my opponent,
right.
And if that was election day, we'd be very happy right now. We're going to get more votes in September, just like we got more votes, you know, at that committee meeting. Look, it's up to the committee to decide what they're going to do. We have a chairwoman who acknowledged that she was going to vote for no endorsement right at the beginning of the meeting. So I'm sure that influenced it, and you know, she had her reasons, and maybe somebody should ask her why.
What do you think her reasons are?
I don't know. All I know is that we got more votes. We really worked hard. That is really showing right now that this race is a lot closer than people have thought. In fact, I think that we're leading at this moment in time. People know the work that I've done to help their kids do better, building out schools, $4 billion worth of schools, making sure the jobs are there, 37,000 extra jobs added since I've been governor, making sure I'm saving hospitals with Roger Williams and Fatima, keeping people working. So people are going to vote based on knowing what I've got done, and the person I'm running against, you know, puts money into PACs, political PACs that go into Trump victory funds. So I don't need to say anything more for people who vote in Democratic primaries.
Were you disappointed? Do you think there's politics at play within the actual party itself?
Well, everybody has the right to vote. I know that, again, we got more votes than my opponent. And we got a lot of support from people that are just everyday people, and you know, I'll let the hierarchy of the party explain why they're the only probably party right now that's not supporting an incumbent governor.
All right, good point. The Boston Globe just reported that the National Alliance for Public Charter Schools has rescinded its 2009 Charter Champion Award for you. That probably doesn't come as a surprise after the measure you just took. What is your response to that?
Well, I'm a public school guy. And when I was using charters to help our public schools, I said, look, I'm a public school guy. And right now, we have made some tremendous progress. I've set goals to reach a meter exceed Massachusetts by 2030. We've closed the gap on reading by almost 40%, math by 39, almost 30%. We're in a position right now to keep on moving forward. I made sure that the schools went back to Providence, went back to Center Falls. I believe in local control. And now we're going to work on issues that are really important, Dan. Look, we've had a 10,000 student drop in our charter public schools since I've been governor. Creating a finance issue, this moratorium gives us a chance to really address that. At the same time, hold our charters accountable, and making sure that we continue on a path to be the very best in the country, and I expect that we'll hit that.
Let's talk about the budget. A lot of takeaways here. You wanted to talk about the child tax credit, cutting state tax on Social Security, and $500 million in energy relief. Let's talk about the energy relief. How does that trickle down to the average person?
Well, right now, and I'm going to keep on working for $1 billion over 5 years or more. I think that the General Assembly should have done that. I'm going to make sure that that happens. And what it is it's lowering cost against some of the programs that we have. About 23% of the bill, Dan, actually is state-driven, and policy, taxes.
Red tape.
Red tape.
Right.
And so what you're going to see is we're going to make sure that we're stopping some potential increases on what's called net metering that could add kilowatt costs up to 22, 23 cents a kilowatt.
Right.
I want to stop that.
Will anyone see their bill go down because of this measure?
Yes, it will go down. It will go down, but also it will not go up as much. I mean, my opponent right now is proposing, her proposal actually going to increase our energy cost. Mine right now will stabilize and reduce it.
Right. A lot of people watching rely on Social Security. You want to cut the state tax on Social Security, which a lot of states do. right?
We're only one of 8 states that actually taxes Social Security.
Which seems almost crazy. So tell me a little bit about what you want to achieve here.
So what I want to achieve is to eliminate the tax on Social Security. And I intend to make that the first line item in my budget next year to actually finish off what we started this year. We helped about 10,000 people who were paying taxes on their Social Security, but we got to make sure that we're a state that's not taxing our Social Security. People leave our state more on the Social Security tax than they will on a millionaire's tax.
Right.
And we need to keep people in our state that want to live here and not. I had somebody tell me the other day, I may have to go to Massachusetts. And take my family and my income and go to Massachusetts because of the Social Security tax. We got to eliminate the Social Security tax.
The Rhode Island Current came out yesterday in a commentary saying that the 2 bills currently sitting on your desk, the H7866 and the S3115, would significantly impact Rhode Islanders by increasing auto repair costs and insurance premiums, urging the governor to protect Rhode Island families by vetoing these bills. What are you going to do?
We're still reviewing the bills.
Okay.
And you're right, that's one of the controversial bills right now.
Because car insurance is astronomical in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. It's crazy.
Car insurance right now, I think we're about the 7th highest in the country.
Unbelievable. And a lot of people won't insure you if you're from Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
And it's the same thing on our energy bills, right?
Right.
That's why we have to contain the cost. You talked about my affordability for all, in terms of the child tax credit, the Hope Scholarship at Rhode Island College we put in place. We got to make life more affordable for people in the state, and we're in the process of trying to.
There's so much going on in this country, but it really boils down to how much is my gas, how much are my groceries, how much is my heating bill. Those are dinner time, bread and butter, political issues, and that's really what hits home to voters.
Absolutely, and that's why we're focused on that, and we're certainly going to continue to be focused on, the Social Security tax, get rid of that, right? Make sure the child tax credit stays in place. Those things are really important to families.
All right, we're out of time, Governor, but I always appreciate you answering the tough questions.
Okay, thank you,
All right,
Dan.
Emily?
Appreciate it.